Alrighty, everyone, it is time once again for another season in review, and the first team that we are doing this year is once again the San Jose Sharks, who finished dead last in the NHL this past year. They got a little bit better in terms of the on-ice product and standings-wise, but they didn't move up at all. They still stayed at 32nd compared to last year, and next year might even be the same if we're being completely honest. So before we get into this year as a whole, I want to look at the last couple of years. That's the biggest thing that I want to do here first. So in 2022-23, they went 22, 44, and 16 for 60 points. They were 29th in the National Hockey League, so they were 4th worst. Again, San Jose still in that downswing. They weren't good. I think a major part in why they were so good that year was Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson's 100-point season, winning the Norris Trophy under a really bad San Jose Sharks team. It kind of made the Sharks a lot better than they really were. Had Karlsson not been there, they probably would have been dead last in that year as well. Now, the following year, they trade Erik Karlsson. They trade a couple other guys away, and they get a lot worse. 19, 54, and 9 for 47 points. They finished 32nd in the NHL, one of the worst teams we've ever seen. They get first overall. They draft Macklin Celebrini. They get Sam Dickinson at 11th overall as well. And they end up being in a really good spot heading into that. This year, they come in with Celebrini and Smith and many other rookies who played throughout the lineup. And they have a better record in terms of wins, but definitely things you can still improve on. 20, 15, and 12 for 52 points. They have a .317 points percentage during that time, and they were 32nd in the NHL once again. Now, I don't think it's fair to look at the actual standings and be like, oh, that's why San Jose's bad. No, I don't think that's really fair, to be completely honest with you. I think you need to look at the on-ice product, and the on-ice product really improved. San Jose last year was not fun. This year, they were fun to watch at points. I caught myself watching a late-night San Jose Sharks game with Macklin Celebrini just because of how good that kid is and how young and entertaining this roster really is to watch. They scored 210 goals this year, allowed 315. They had a -105 differential, better than last year's, that's for sure. But still not the greatest. It still is the worst in the NHL. They had a 12, 27, and 2 record at home, and they were only 8, 23, and 10 on the road. They had plenty of times this year where they would go in and go up 1-0 in a game, and they'd hold that lead for so long, and then the other team would tie it up with like less than a minute left, and then they lose in overtime. I can't tell you how many times that's happened this year, and we've streamed like at least 2 or 3 times where that has happened. So it's just kind of ironic there when you look at it. But again, San Jose, not that great in that remark. They score an average of 2.54 goals per game, which is ranked 32nd in the NHL, and they allow an average of 3.78, which is also 32nd. You could probably tell, I mean, if they're the worst team in the NHL, you would imagine their differences are not very good, and their goals against on average are atrocious, and that's what they are right here. Their power play was at an 18.6% success rate, which is 26th in the NHL, so not that bad. It's a little bit above bottom 5. Still not good, but it's okay by San Jose standards. They had a 74.2 PK percentage, which was bottom 5, 28th in the league. Again, I definitely think that these are things that will improve in time, but right now, San Jose just isn't there, and they aren't ready, in my opinion. I just don't think they are ready, to be honest with you. Now, again, as I said, the on-ice product really did get a lot better throughout this year. I think that that's something you got to take away with here and be happy with if you're San Jose. Again, I know there wasn't a lot of positives throughout this season, but one of the biggest positives, I would have to say, was Macklin Celebrini. 70 games played, 25 goals, 38 assists for 63 points. He's first on the team in points. Celebrini, phenomenal player, somebody who is going to have a really bright future in this league. And he missed a couple of games, and he still played at the pace that he played at. I think that is unreal, and I believe he really should be a Calder finalist at the very least. Again, I know it's a very competitive trophy to win this year. There's like 4 or 5 rookies that could win it, but I think Celebrini should at least be a finalist with the way he's played. It's been phenomenal and led the Sharks in scoring here through the stretch of these games. William Eklund in his sophomore season, 77 games played, 17 goals, 41 assists, which is first on the team for 58 points. Eklund, phenomenal player. He has a really bright future there in San Jose as probably, I would say their second or third best player in terms of their future behind, Smith and Eklund and those guys. But overall, a really good look there for this team's upcoming future with Eklund, Celebrini. And then Tyler Toffoli, who completes that full line of Celebrini, Eklund, Toffoli, and I honestly think it's probably one of the best lines in the NHL. Honestly, it is very entertaining to watch. 78 games played, 30 goals, which is first on the team, 24 assists for 54 points. Again, Toffoli still scoring at a really good rate, came to San Jose because he had family here. And, he comes over, plays alongside these young players. It's not easy. They know they're in a rebuild, but he still comes in and has a great season overall. And boom, look at this. It's just great stuff to see how he's played throughout this stretch and how he's looked. Will Smith, another rookie there as well in the Calder race. 74 games played, 18 goals, 27 assists for 45 points. Smith had a really good year, especially towards the end of the season. He was on a pretty good goal-scoring streak. Again, just a guy who took a little bit there to develop, took some more time than Celebrini would because he's not like a Celebrini-type player. But since coming over to San Jose, he has been pretty good. So I'm looking forward to what next year is going to bring for this Sharks team because, again, Macklin and Smith will be in their sophomore year. Eklund will be around or entering his prime. I think that I definitely think they probably will be still bottom 3, bottom 5, but they could get a lot better next year, and I think people might be shocked when that does end up happening. So we'll have to see there, but I'm optimistic for the future. Alex Wennberg, 77 games played, 10 goals, 25 assists, 35 points. Wennberg, great player. Again, just kind of like the second line, third line depth on this team more or less now, because a lot of the guys that were on this team prior, they traded away. Nikolai Kovalenko was also a rookie as well. What's crazy is that they had 4 rookies in their leading scorers, which is kind of wild to think. He had 57 games played, 7 goals, 13 assists, 20 points. A lot of that was with Colorado, though, or some of it was with Colorado. Most of it was with San Jose. So do keep that in mind. He was involved in the Blackwood trade, which we will get into here in a little bit. I do have some of the trades pulled up that we can go through. Timothy Liljegren, 7th in scoring, 68 games played, 6 goals, 11 assists, 17 points. Liljegren was a midseason acquisition there as well. Played, I think, maybe 1 or 2 games with Toronto and then came to San Jose. Hasn't been bad, to be honest with you, just no offense is really there. And then the same thing can be said for Mario Ferraro, who I would say is probably their number 1 defenseman right now. 78 games played, 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points. Ferraro, not too bad, has got a good sense of humor. He's good for the NHL, just plays on a really bad team and is kind of often forgotten about there. And then Henry Thrun, who is in his sophomore season. I'm a big fan of Thrun. 60 games played, 20 goals, 10 assists, or 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points, not 20 goals, sorry. Overall there, Thrun has been nothing short of pretty good for the Sharks, and I think he's somebody that you can watch out for moving forward, because I think he really can be a part of this rebuild as a defensive-minded defender. Just the defense in San Jose isn't that great around him. And then 10th in scoring is Colin Graf, who came from an unsigned in Quinnipiac. He's been great. 33 games played, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. And then that rounds out your top 10. Again, you have an 11-point scorer in your top 10. That shows how not deep this team really is. They had 4 rookies in their top 10, though, in scoring, which I think really does mean something. They had 2 rookies in their goaltending tandem as well, led by Alex Georgiev. 15, 26, and 4 with a 3.71 and a .875. We know Georgiev was acquired midway through the season. He definitely helps out the tank. That's for sure. And then Blackwood going back the other way, who's in the playoffs right now. He's been just phenomenal for Colorado. But Georgiev, again, just helping out the tank there in San Jose. That's the biggest thing. Yaroslav Askarov played some games here with the Sharks. 4-6-2, a 3.10 and a .896 now. Barring San Jose doing anything in the offseason to acquire a goaltender, Askarov is the starter right now heading into this next season for the Sharks. And I am very intrigued to see how that's going to go. And maybe he won't end up being the starter. Maybe they end up finding somebody else to fill that role. But it is something interesting there that you need to follow along with. So I'm very intrigued to see what Askarov's going to be able to do. And then Georgi Romanov also played some games up in the NHL club. 0-6, though, a 3.89 and a .877. He would have games where he looked pretty good, and then just his team would crumble in front of him. So overall, he's not a bad goaltender, but just has a poor team playing in front of him there. That's it for the scoring and goaltending stats. let's get into some of the trades that the San Jose Sharks made over the last couple of months. First off, earlier in the year, they traded Mackenzie Blackwood, Giovanni Smith, and a 27 fifth-round pick over to the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for Alex Georgiev, Nikolai Kovalenko, a 26 second, and a 26 fifth. To be honest with you, I definitely think Colorado wins this deal. You see how Blackwood's doing with Colorado right now. And Smith is over in Philadelphia, got him for Erik Johnson. I think that San Jose did a good job on this because they got Georgiev, a player who helped them with their tank this year, getting another bottom 3 pick. So good on Georgiev for that. I guess Kovalenko became a good potential third-line impact player. I have heard some things, though, about how he's been treated negatively in San Jose. I'm not exactly sure what truth that holds, but I have heard some of that. And then the second and the fifth, it's still to be decided, but not a bad trade there for San Jose. The other trade they made that I was worth mentioning was with Dallas, where they acquired Dallas's first in this year and a fourth in this year's draft as well for Mikael Granlund and Cody Ceci. So Granlund there going over to Dallas, Ceci as well, two good impact players. And then San Jose gets a first-round pick. They get a fourth-round pick. That first-round pick, it might not be that high, but it could be like 17th, 18th, 19th overall because, again, right now Dallas looks injury-prone against the Colorado Avalanche. So San Jose might end up with a pretty high draft pick there if all things go the right way. I guess we'll see. Trades they made at the trade deadline. They traded Walman to the Oilers for a 2026 first-round pick in Carl Berglund. Walman going over there with Edmonton. He looks phenomenal over there. But San Jose gets a first in next year's draft, and they also get Berglund, too, who's like a C-level prospect. I wonder, and I said this on the podcast, I really do wonder, like, when are the Sharks going to stop selling and start actually, like, trying to contend here? I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to do with that, so I'm interested to go look into that even more and heading into this offseason and see maybe they'll make some moves to try and be much better on ice next season. We'll see. And then the trade with Ottawa, where they traded Zetterlund, Robbins, and a 25 fourth to the Senators in exchange for Ostapchuk, Gregor, and a 25 second round pick. I mean, it's not that bad of a deal. I think Ottawa probably does take it. They get really good fourth line depth there in Zetterlund. Robbins a good depth player. But overall, nothing really too big there. Ostapchuk's been a player in the NHL since the trade. He's looked solid, but overall, just kind of a deal that really isn't that huge, but it still is worth mentioning. That's enough about the San Jose Sharks as the main club. Let's take a look at the AHL. Let's take a look at the prospects in the pipeline, how they did this season, and also look at the draft capital and the unrestricted free agents and restricted free agents coming up soon for the Sharks here as well. So first off, the San Jose Barracuda went 36, 27, 5-4 for 81 points. They finished 16th in the AHL. They did make the playoffs. I believe they are playing in the playoffs right now. Their leading scorer was Andrew Podorowski with 59 games played, 30 goals, 43 assists, 73 points. Podorowski, phenomenal character. A little bit older than some of these other players on this roster, but did get some time this year with San Jose, playing up in the main club. Luca Cagnoni, who is a rookie in the AHL, 64 games played, 16 goals, 36 assists, 52 points. Danil Gushchin, 56 games played, 28 goals, 23 assists for 51 points. Ethan Cardwell, 63 games played, 11 goals, 37 assists, 48 points there as well. And then Pavel Regenda, who spent some time with San Diego as well, played 72 games this year, had 13 goals, 28 assists for 41 points as well with the Barracuda this year. So a good future they're building down there in San Jose. Usually their AHL club is not that great, but some guys in there like Luca Cagnoni, you got Ethan Cardwell as well, Podorowski too, who look very solid. Now in the pipeline, the prospects that they got coming up, you start off with Sam Dickinson, arguably their number one guy. 55 games played, 29 goals, 62 assists for 91 points with the London Knights. I think that for Dickinson, he's looked really good. And again, I think right now, in terms of their pipeline, unless if they get like Matthew Schaefer first overall in the draft, he is their number one defenseman. And there's really no doubt about it. He is their number one guy. And I think that's something that San Jose really looks forward to. He could be in the NHL as soon as next season. We'll see. Like, this guy looks extremely talented and has the offensive capabilities. He looks like, I know Boyum is playing and he looks really phenomenal for Minnesota, but Dickinson might be the best player in that draft outside of Boyum in terms of defensemen. So I'm really looking forward to that. We'll have to see how Dickinson is with the San Jose Sharks. Quentin Musty then up next, playing in Sudbury, 33 games played, 30 goals, 29 assists, 59 points in 33 games played. He missed some time with injury, but still had a 30-goal season, had 59 points essentially. So he had a phenomenal year there with Sudbury. Igor Chernyshov playing in Mississauga, I'm pretty sure, or wherever they're at now. He had 23 games played, so he missed some time with injury, but he had 19 goals, 36 assists for 55 points. So a lot of these guys didn't even play the full year, and they still had over a point per game play in their season and just played unreal. So it really makes you excited if you're the San Jose Sharks, seeing all these players pan out the way they are. It's exciting, honestly. The only guy who's in the AHL right now, who's a prospect technically, is Philip Bystead, who has 49 games played, 12 goals, 19 assists, 31 points there as well. Bystead looking like he might be like a fourth liner on this team if he does pan out. But again, you have a lot of younger players on this roster. Not all of them are going to pan out the way you want them to, but even still, Bystead's still not a bad prospect there. And then Kasper Halttunen, 38 games played, 21 goals, 20 assists, 41 points. Halttunen doing good there in the OHL as well. So some good stuff there in the San Jose Sharks prospect pool. It's not as stacked as it was last season, but I think after the draft, when they get somebody in the top 3, and they also get a couple other guys with the other picks too, it'll be even better. So just again, the Sharks keep on building towards that future that they want to get to. In terms of their draft capital, they have 2 first-round picks, which one of them belongs to Dallas. They have 2 seconds, which one of them belongs to Ottawa. They have a 3rd, which is from Edmonton. They have 2 4ths, which is St. Louis and Winnipeg's. They have a 5th from Colorado and a 7th from New Jersey. So a lot of picks there that aren't their own. So they might be up and down the draft capital board there a lot. But overall, just some good capital there for the Sharks. And hopefully they'll be able to use it the right way and bring it back into the fold with new prospects and new players as well. Maybe they don't keep all those picks. Maybe they make some trades. I guess we'll see. And then finally, the UFAs and RFAs for this year's class. The UFAs, Pavel Regenda, Jan Rutta, and Alex Georgiev. Regenda, I'm sure they keep him around maybe as an AHL player. Rutta, I'm not so sure. And then Georgiev, I know they're not keeping him. He's going. They already informed him that he's not coming back next year. I don't think he gets another job in the NHL, to be honest with you. I think he's probably heading over to the KHL or something like that. But I think Georgiev's time in the NHL is getting close to being over here just because of how bad he's been the last few seasons. And then RFAs. Some interesting names here that you want to keep in mind. Klim Kostin, Nikolai Kovalenko, Thomas Borderlow, Noah Gregor, Jack Thompson, and Georgi Romanov. So a couple names there that you need to look out for. Kostin maybe sticks around. We'll have to see there what happens with that. Kovalenko, I wouldn't be shocked if they let him go because of the comments that he made earlier in the season, but hopefully they'll try and keep him around, I'm sure. Thomas Borderlow, I don't really think it's panned out the way that they thought he was going to, so maybe they let him go as well. Noah Gregor hasn't been a bad player. He's been a deadline acquisition. We'll see if he sticks around. Jack Thompson, not a bad defenseman if they have some room in the pipeline maybe. And then Romanov, third-string goaltender. You'll keep him around there for the AHL and stuff like that. But yeah, that is our season in review for the San Jose Sharks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. San Jose is going to be a good team in the future, but we're in that stage where it's the growing pains, and there's a lot of, prospects and exciting guys you can look forward to here heading forward, the draft as well, and more players will come from that. But at least as of right now, it's going to be a few more years at least of pain for the San Jose Sharks. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.